Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to folks on OneSpotMedia.com.
Now, first this evening, questions are being asked about the responsiveness of local authorities to health emergencies at the nation's port of entries, in particular airports.
The concerns come after an elderly man died this week after collapsing at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James.
As you'll hear in this report, his loved ones feel his life may have been saved if the authorities acted quickly.
71-year-old Leroy Smith visited Jamaica to bury his brother. On Wednesday, it was time to return home. His nephew carried him to the Sangster International Airport, but in a shocking turn of events, Mr. Smith collapsed near the check-in area. A representative from the airport then contacted his niece. She was told,
"Mr. Smith had an accident and we need our family to come back to the airport." I asked what's happening. The person said she was unable to give me much information over the phone at the time and that Mr. Smith had an accident. All she can tell is that he had an accident and he's on the floor.
She hung up and alerted the nephew who transported Mr. Smith to the airport. When she called back the representative, she heard,
"He's still on the floor and he's unconscious and they're going to perform CPR." All right. So I said, don't you have an ambulance to rush him to the hospital? She said, "The ambulance is on the way."
Distressed, she made repeated calls for some 20 to 35 minutes. Still,
all I'm hearing is they're doing CPR and ambulance is on the way. And to the point where I'm like, are you telling me that there is nothing else that can be done? He's just on the floor like that?
Approaching 40 minutes, she called again, eager for an update. The update left her perplexed.
She said, "I cannot disclose anything. We were doing CPR. They were doing CPR on him, and now they cover him up." Mr. Miss, what do you mean them cover him up? What that mean? Did he die?
Sadly, he did. MBJ Airports Limited released a statement 2 days later saying the airport staff were alerted to a passenger in medical distress. It says emergency response protocols were immediately activated, with on-site medical personnel arriving within minutes. The airport said during that time, an ambulance was also called to the scene. The release doesn't say if or what time the ambulance would have arrived. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says he's seen this viral video from a passenger detailing the incident.
The nurse was saying if they can't get the ambulance, then they'll get the taxi. Mr. Miss, get the taxi. I'll pay the money for him. I'll pay the taxi. Get the taxi. Get the taxi.
We contacted the woman afterwards. She says they were alone with the man for quite some time and that blood was running from his nose.
The nurse had come, which was about, I would say 20 minutes to half an hour after he fell. The nurse had come and she started to do whatever she needed to do.
Mr. Vaz has since requested a full report on the incident.
My report will be able to speak specifically to what happened because there are cameras there, CCTV cameras, and therefore everything should be to the second in relation from when the incident happened to when he was removed.
Mr. Vaz added that MBJ Airports has a contractual arrangement with Hospital in relation to medical services, which includes ambulances.
My understanding when I asked is that they have access to up to 7 ambulances, and the proximity from Hospital to Montego Bay Airport is not that far.
Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.